Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you're watching this, chances are you've already done the hard part, right? Your account is funded, the trading app is open on your phone, and a big, bright green buy button is just staring right back at you. Your fingers hovering over the screen. It's a super exciting moment, but look, let's be totally honest. It can also be incredibly intimidating. Because right before you tap that button, you realize something isn't quite as simple as just buying a t-shirt online.
You're looking at one single stock, but you're seeing two totally different numbers. Why are there two different prices staring back at you? And what exactly is that little box asking whether you want a market or a limit order? Most guides out there spend all their time telling you why to invest, but almost none of them actually tell you what happens in those 10 seconds around the click. So that's exactly what we're going to demystify today. We are giving you the roadmap of that crucial 10-second window so that absolutely nothing about your first trade catches you off guard.
Okay, let's dive into our agenda for this explainer real quick. First up, the live auction. Then, the meaning of spread. Third, market versus limit orders. Fourth, inside the order book. And finally, settlement and takeaways. Think of this whole thing as the essential driving lesson before you take your portfolio on a massive road trip. You just got to know how the pedals work before you merge onto the highway. All right, section 1, the live auction. Whenever you open up that buy screen for a share, you need to completely shift your mindset. You're not walking into a static retail store where prices are just printed on a barcode tag. No, you are walking into a digital, physical tug of war. On one side, you've got a crowd of people desperate to buy, and on the other, a crowd willing to sell. Let's look at the first side of this tug of war, the bid. The bid is exactly what it sounds like in an auction house. It's the absolute highest price any buyer in the market is currently willing to pay for that stock. Just imagine an auctioneer pointing to the crowd, shouting, "Do I hear 200? I have a buyer at 199.80. That 199.80, that's your bid. It represents the single most aggressive buyer in the room at that very fraction of a second. Now, flip that over to the other side of the tug of war, and you've got the ask, which is also sometimes called the offer. The ask is the lowest price any seller is currently willing to accept to part with their shares. It's basically the seller saying, "Hey, I will not let these go for a single penny less than $220. And here is the foundational rule of the market. The bid and the ask are almost never the exact same number. I mean, think about it. If they were, a trade would happen instantly and they just vanish from the board. Which brings us to section 2, the meaning of spread. What happens in the empty space between those two numbers is actually where the true mechanics of the market live. That small numerical gap between the highest buyer and the lowest seller is called the spread. And let me tell you, truly understanding the meaning of spread is like having a secret weapon. It really is. It isn't just random math. This tiny little gap is an absolutely essential indicator of market health. It tells you exactly how easy or how incredibly difficult it's going to be to get into or get out of a stock. And to put that into perspective, if you're trading a massive, highly liquid stock, like, say, a giant bank or a huge IT company, there are literally millions of buyers and sellers yelling over each other all day. Because of all that crazy activity, the spread might only be a paisa or two. It's incredibly tight. But if you look at a thinly traded small cap stock, where maybe only a handful of people are even looking to trade that day, the gap between the bid and the ask can be much, much wider. The spread drastically changes based on liquidity, and ignoring a wide spread is a huge rookie mistake that can and will actually cost you money. All right, moving along to section 3, market versus limit orders. So we know the spread exists, right? But how do we actually navigate it? Well, we do it through the specific order type we select. Let's bring in a real-world scenario here. Let's imagine an investor named Mira, and she wants to buy shares in a completely made-up business we'll call Chai Corp. Let's walk through Mira's exact steps. Step 1, she opens her app and pulls up Chai Corp because she wants to buy 10 shares. Step 2, she looks at the quote. The bid is sitting at 199.80 rupees. The ask is at 200.20. Now for step 3, the absolutely critical decision. Which button does she actually press? If she places a market order, her broker just reaches right across the spread and buys at the best available ask right away. Boom, done. She gets her 10 shares instantly at roughly 200.20, totaling about 2,002 rupees plus some small charges. But if she thinks that price is just a touch too high, she can place a limit order at, say, exactly 200.00. Now she waits. If a seller gets impatient and drops their asking price down to 200.00, her order fills. Awesome. But if the stock just drifts up to 205, her order simply sits there unfilled. It might be slightly annoying, sure, but she never overpaid. It's the exact same 10 shares, but two totally different financial experiences. So the absolutely crucial point here is this fundamental trade-off. A market order prioritizes speed.
It's fast, it almost always fills, but you surrender total control of the final price. On the flip side, a limit order prioritizes control. You are quite literally naming your price, but you surrender the guarantee of speed. Your order may not actually execute at all. And this right here is exactly why beginners are generally so much better served by using limit orders. Why? Because it completely protects you from a really nasty phenomenon called slippage. If you throw a careless market order at a thinly traded stock that has a massive spread, you might actually end up paying several rupees higher than the price you were just looking at on your screen. A limit order basically ensures you never get a nasty surprise on price.
Let's keep zooming out. Section 4, inside the order book. What actually happens in the digital ether after your finger taps that confirm button? You know, your order isn't being printed out on paper and handed to some guy in a sharp suit sitting at a mahogany desk. The reality is lightning fast. Your order travels electronically straight to the exchange, like the NSE or the BSE, and it lands in something called the order book. Think of it as a massive, live, continuously updating list of every single buy and sell order for that specific stock. The exchange's computer systems are ruthless, and they are incredibly fair. They match orders based on a very strict hierarchy. First, they match by price. Better prices always get served first. Basically, if you're willing to pay more than the next guy, you get to jump the line. Second, if prices are perfectly equal, they match by time. Whoever queued up and placed their order earlier wins the trade. It's strictly first come, first served. And importantly, all of this high-speed matching runs under the strict, watchful eye of SEBI, the market regulator. The exact millisecond a matching seller is found in that book, bam, you officially have a trade. Which brings us to our final stop, Section 5, Settlement and Final Takeaways. So the app says executed. You've officially bought the shares. But here is a little question that catches a whole lot of new investors completely off guard. When does that stock actually officially become yours? Well, the answer lies in the settlement cycle. Day 0 is the exact moment your trade is executed. Now, historically, you'd have to wait a while. But as of January 2023, India completed this amazing shift to a world-class T+1 settlement cycle. That basically means exactly 1 working day after your trade, the cash officially leaves your bank account and the shares officially land in your demat account. This literally gives India one of the fastest settlement standards on the entire planet. And it gets better. SEBI has even started rolling out an optional same-day T+0 cycle for the top 500 stocks, and they're phasing that in through 2025.
But what you really need to take away from this is that the moment of I clicked buy and the moment of I own it, it's fully settled, are generally 2 events that are a full working day apart. And guys, this is completely normal market functioning. So please, don't go panic hunting through your account ledger that same evening, stressing out, wondering where your shares are, or why the money hasn't formally cleared yet. It's totally fine. Patience is just built into the plumbing of the system.
Okay, let's lock in the core mechanics we've covered today. Number 1, the gap between the highest buyer's bid and the lowest seller's ask is the spread. Respect it, it tells you exactly how liquid a stock is. Number 2, market orders guarantee speed, but they leave your final price totally uncertain. Number 3, limit orders give you total control over your price, preventing those hidden slippage costs, which makes them absolutely ideal for beginners. Number 4, the exchange matches everyone fairly, by price first and then by time. And number 5, your trades are going to settle by the next working day under India's T+1 cycle. Seriously, just understanding these 5 basic mechanics prevents 99% of the nasty surprises that end up frustrating so many new investors. Now, I want to leave you with a quick little challenge before our next explainer, where, by the way, we are going to be unpacking all those extra little charges like brokerage and STT. But for now, here's a 2-minute, absolutely zero money exercise for you to try the exact second this explainer ends. Go open your broker app, pick absolutely any stock you find interesting, and just look at the quote. Don't buy anything, just find the bid and find the ask. Ask yourself, how wide is the spread right now? Is it tight or is it gapping? Now just picture placing a limit order 2 rupees below that ask price. Do you think it would fill today, or would it just sit there and wait? Seriously, go look at a live spread right now. Getting a real feel for that gap before real money is on the line is honestly half the skill of trading. Go test it out, and we will see you next time.